The secret bloom after 65. When Maya turned 65, she thought the world had already labeled her. A grandmother, a retired teacher, a woman whose desires should have long folded into quiet corners of memory. Society had often whispered that intimacy was for the young, that passion burned brightly only in the first half of life, and then faded. But Maya discovered something astonishing. The opposite was true. She began to feel a new kind of awakening, not wild or rushed, but deeply intentional. Conversations with friends her age revealed a shared secret. Many women like her found that after the chaos of careers, child-rearing, and societal expectations, their bodies and hearts began speaking a new language, one of rediscovery. Psychologists had long noted that human behavior evolves with time, and intimacy is no exception. Studies revealed that women over 65 often experience heightened appreciation for touch and penetration, not simply for the physical pleasure but for the profound meaning it carries. Penetration, in this chapter of life, became less about lust and more about connection, about being truly seen, accepted, and held in vulnerability. Maya remembered reading about how the brain responds differently to intimacy in later years. The oxytocin released during deep physical contact fostered feelings of security, trust, and peace. Unlike the hurried encounters of youth, these moments carried a softness that transcended the act itself. For many women, even forms of stimulation once overlooked, like gentle anal play, were not about taboo, but about trust. It symbolized surrender, closeness, and an intimacy that went beyond words. What blew her mind was how consistent this discovery seemed to be. In private surveys, an astonishing number of women confessed that, post-menopause, they finally allowed themselves to lean into their desires without shame. The fear of pregnancy was gone, the weight of judgment had lessened, and with age came an unapologetic boldness. Desire was no longer tied to performance or appearances, it was tied to authenticity. Maya herself experienced this one evening when she and her partner Raj sat quietly on their veranda. They had been married for decades, through storms and sunshine, yet in their later years, they began exploring each other with a tenderness that was new. "It feels like we're falling in love again," Raj said softly. And Maya, for the first time in years, felt the truth of it in her bones. For her, penetration had shifted from being just an act of physicality to being a metaphor. It meant allowing another person past the barriers of age, insecurity, and past wounds. It meant embracing vulnerability when the world expected her to shrink into invisibility. The fact that women over 65 not only desired but preferred this kind of closeness was a fact that defied stereotypes, and it fascinated psychologists everywhere. As she reflected on her journey, Maya realized something beautiful. Intimacy doesn't expire with age. It evolves. The body may change, but the soul's hunger for connection deepens. And sometimes, the most surprising chapter of passion begins exactly when the world least expects it.